What's going on, everybody? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. I hope you all are having a good day. Definitely some heavy movement to the downside today. The SPY off about 1.8% at 572.48, and you know we had that kind of counter trend bounce yesterday on lighter volume. Kind of looking for a down day today. Of course, we're getting that. You have the composite off about 2.55%, nearly cracking below 18,000. Listen. This is weird, guys. I mean, not weird. It's just the reality of things. Nvidia off about 5.07%. Okay, this is again on some contracting volume here. I don't know what Palantir is at, but let's take a look. You're off about 9.69%. Tesla's getting smoked. Off 5.75%. We're at 263. Man. Look, we're coming right back. Even if you go back to the SPY, we're coming right back down to that Trump rally level, which is what we've been looking for. Talk a little bit about that, right? Does it consolidate from here? Do we go even lower? You know, I mean, the way that I look at it is you had this market going on for quite a while. You get the Trump bump. We give that whole entire thing back. And I still think there are, let me stop the scratching. How about that? Hashtag stop the scratching. Yeah, I mean, I think things have gotten worse. You know, you had CrowdStrike report, kind of bad forward guidance. I mean, that's heavy. Same thing with Marvel. Not bad forward guidance, but, you know, just not anything insane. Look at this jump down. I mean, this is wild, off 18.44%. This is Marvel Technology. Talking about a 63 billion market cap company, negative 43 PE. This is tough stuff. I mean, this is repricing, you know, and you know, there's way more to go from here if this persists. If things do not improve materially, you can get some weird stuff happening here. I think this goes down even further. I do think we're on light volume today, lighter volume, so you probably see a bounce back tomorrow. But again, the question is like, you know, what is good about anything that's going on right now for the economy? You just had Trump say, and thanks, Fletch, for putting that in the den, but you just had Trump say to a journalist, you know, I'm not even looking at the stock market. Okay, that's fine. But this is going to continue to happen. I don't see a trend reversal case here whatsoever. You know, your equities that are doing exceedingly well, you know, you're having some pullback on Chinese companies today. That's fine. But these guys have been outperforming for a while. The Europeans, Rheinmetall, again, slight pullback, but it has done exceptionally well. Let me see here. I got to figure out the ticker for Rheinmetall. But we were looking at the thing at like 860, and it's trading right under 1,200. You know, you have Germany going in, and they're trying to spend $500 billion over the next 10 years building out infrastructure, right, for the military. This whole thing is so strange. You know, if we sign this deal with Zelensky, ideally the war stops, right? Most likely how that will work out if we go the Trump route is that there will be a significant portion of Ukraine, at least the area that connects from Russia to Crimea, will be under Russian control. The tensions need to stop there. The Europeans are gearing up to continue to fund a war against the Russians, which I think is intense. I think that could escalate it pretty heavily. You know, if it comes out that, you know, Trump says, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. Zelensky signed the deal, not warring anymore. This is what we've all agreed to. Some of this land is ceded to Russia. You know, that's what makes me say right now, if you're not in the European defense, do not try to chase the trend. Because if something like that can happen and completely pull the rug out. Now, I will say that the spending will still probably be there, right? But the exuberance around the spending and those equities, or ADRs in the case of what we got going on in Europe, you know, or as Americans trying to buy European equity, you know, you can lose a lot of exuberance around that. That's kind of my only thing. We take a look at another equity here. And again, all this conversation around these big, you know, defense stocks, this is a satellite company. Okay, this is Eutelsat. These are the guys trying to build out the European Starlink. Again, they probably need this. This has, I mean, look at the movement here. mean, this is unbelievable movement to the upside. You have just as much volume kind of coming to the downside today as well. I think there's a lot of chasing going on right now, and that's giving me pause in making any massive decision. Still think China's interesting. You know, we're looking at BYD, you're looking at XPeng, Tiger, Baba, JD, you know. I think China's kind of interesting itself. I saw someone writing this big article, I read an article, where it's like, listen, historically what goes on is if American companies do poorly or American economy does poorly, the rest of these equities get torn down. I think we might be in a paradigm shift, okay? I mean, we have really built this world post-war to really depend on us. Like, we are the casino. And what Trump is doing is essentially trying to extricate ourselves from that, you know, environment. So whatever patterns existed in the past might not really be the case in the future. And that's something we're going to have to, you know, follow closely and kind of adjust towards. Crude oil up about 0.15% at 66.41. Conversations that they might completely limit Iran from producing any oil. I'm not sure how that would be achieved. Again, there's just so much info and this or that and promising to do this and then revoking those promises in this market. I think to make any clear decision, at least at this moment, we have now traced back to the beginning of November, you know, in a lot of these different things. We're closing that Trump bump. From here, I mean, I expect some kind of consolidation. And so if you're not in something right now, I mean, maybe just wait to see if anything kind of improves or changes in the general, you know, macro environment. You have gold contracts just basically sideways right now, 2009-24. Taking a look at our boy VGZ over here. This was one of Tom's favorites. Yeah, you're off 1.12% today, but we've gotten, I mean, that is some fantastic, solid volume to the upside. You know, trading at that before that gap up around 61 cents and right now at 74 cents. That's fantastic. You go to our YouTube channel. There's a bunch of interviews with Tom and Fred Ernest, who's the CEO of Vista Gold, and I think those are well worth the quick look. Let's see what else we got. Silver up about 0.27%. You have copper up about 0.09% at $4.79. Let's see. Everything is red. Everything is unbelievably red, except AAR Corp. How about that? Up 0.81%. Folks, if you stay right there, we'll be right back. We're going to have Tim Ord of the Ord Oracle on. This is in that kind of gap area he was looking at, maybe a little bit lower. We're going to hear what he has to say. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.